The WNBA today, meaning Monday, set that date, said come March 10th. There's no way after that the season is not impacted.
Did you hear that? Did you catch every single word of that? Because what was just said right there is everything you need to understand about where we are right now. The WNBA has drawn a line in the sand, March 10th. That is the date, and if the Players Union does not get a deal done by then, the 2026 season is going to be impacted. And I mean seriously, structurally, catastrophically impacted.
The league is going to have to set a date. I said if I'm among the WNBA leadership, I'm presenting a date and I'm telling these players, you have until this time to accept what we've offered or it's a wrap. Because that's what leadership does.
That right there is the real problem. This CBA standoff has been going on for 16 months. 16 months. The college draft is April 13th. Training camp opens April 19th. The regular season is scheduled to tip off May 8th. 2 expansion teams need to go through drafts, 2 expansion teams, and the league is still sitting here playing back and forth games with a union that refuses to move. At some point, leadership had to step up. And on Monday, February 24th, 2026, it finally did.
Sources: WNBA sets CBA target date to keep 26 schedule intact. The WNBA told the WNBPA and its teams on Monday that a new collective bargaining agreement should be agreed to by March 10th for the 2026 schedule not to be impacted, sources told ESPN.
Let's be very clear about what that means. This is the first real hard deadline the league has issued in this entire 16-month ordeal. The first. The WNBA has been patient, methodical. They've been the calm adults in the room while the union has been out here lighting fires on social media. And when the league went silent for 6 weeks, when they stopped responding, people took that as weakness. That wasn't weakness. That was a message. Silence was the answer. The answer was no. And the players either didn't hear it or chose not to hear it. And this is where everything falls apart. Because now the players are cornered, not by the league, but by their own words.
The word unrealistic was used. And then it went right to, we've got a lot to get done and time is running out. It's in the best interest of these players and the future of the league to accept the deal. And I said then in my coverage of it, that sounded to me like a hard no and then an instant trampling.
Unrealistic. That's the word the league used to describe the union's last proposal. Not ambitious, not aggressive. Unrealistic. That's a rejection dressed up in professional language. And the union responded by doubling down, calling the league's offer disgusting, a slap in the face, stupid. And now that the deadline is real, they're trapped by their own bravado. Because if they accept the deal after all that heat, they look like they blinked. And if they don't accept it, they blow up the very season that is supposed to make them more money.
And I feel like the players have backed themselves in a corner because of the inflammatory language used, because of we are absolutely not, no way, this would be stupid, this is disgusting, this is a slap in the face, no. And then you paint yourself in a corner and then you start to feel like, well, if we don't stand 10 toes down continually, then we're going to look like losers.
And honestly, this is the real problem. It's not about money anymore. It's about ego. It's about optics. Bob Tix. Leaders like Natasha Cloud have been so publicly, so aggressively vocal that backing down now feels like surrender. But here's what they're missing. You can win a battle of words and lose an entire season. Rebecca Lobo said it months ago. The players have already won significantly more than they had before these negotiations started. The leaked proposals showed massive gains, guaranteed housing, salary increases, expanded rosters. But none of that gets talked about because the volume of the outrage drowned it out. And here is the most dangerous twist in this entire story. The piece of information the players used to justify not budging was built on a lie.
The player who has created this motion is Caitlin Clark. And people who are in leadership, they have to know that there's more to this thing than one player because anything can happen to one player.
Caitlin Clark. Let's say her name, because without her, none of this conversation is happening the way it's happening. She drove TV ratings through the roof. She packed arenas that were running at 40% capacity. She generated enough revenue in 2025 to trigger the first ever revenue-sharing payout in the WNBA's nearly 30-year history. $8 million split among players, unprecedented. And the union's treasurer, Breanne Turner, ran to ESPN and said, quote, "This shows our value and how what we're fighting for makes sense." And so the war cry went up, "The league is profitable. Don't budge. The needle is moving in our favor. Don't give in." Except, and this is where the media completely failed you, profitable and profitable are not the same word when one of them is a headline and one of them is the truth.
I'm scrolling down this article and there is nothing highlighted, which I knew wouldn't be because it told me 0/0.
The word profit does not appear once in the ESPN article by Katie Barnes that supposedly confirmed the WNBA turned a profit, not once. 0 out of 0. The word that does appear, benchmark. The WNBA hit a revenue benchmark, meaning they crossed a threshold that triggered the revenue sharing clause. Hitting a benchmark is not the same as being profitable. Your gross revenue is not your net. Making money and keeping money are not the same thing. Every single person who pays bills understands this concept. You can bring in $10 million and still be in the red if you owe $12 million. The Sporting News headline said, "We now know the WNBA has been turning a profit." And the answer to that is, no, we don't know that, because it is not in the article. It's in the headline, and the headline is misleading, and they're counting on you not to dig deeper. So here is what you actually have. You have a union that was energized by a misleading headline to dig in harder on a deal the league has already called unrealistic. You have a league that responded to that energy not with more concessions, but with a deadline, March 10th. And you have a 2026 season with 2 expansion teams, a May 8th tip-off, and a college draft 26 days away, hanging entirely in the balance. If the players blow past March 10th holding the line on a proposal rooted in a misunderstood revenue report, they are not fighting for their future. They are torching it. The Caitlin Clark effect brought the money, but Caitlin Clark won't be there forever. And the window to capitalize on this momentum is open right now. Not after a delayed season, not after a lockout, not after casual fans decide women's basketball isn't worth the drama. So I'm asking you directly, who do you stand with? Are you team players? Do you believe the union should hold firm, fight for every dollar, and take the season down to the wire if they have to? Or are you team league? Do you believe the deadline is fair, the deal is reasonable, and the players need to sign before they throw away the greatest opportunity this sport has ever had? Drop it in the comments right now, because March 10th is not far away, and whoever blinks first is going to define the future of the WNBA for the next decade.